Hi guys, Molly here with Refuse to Sink Fitness. So today we're going to do a HIIT workout, low impact, do the whole time, but we're not going to use the rowers. So before you panic, for those of you who love to row, I just want to remind you that I am living proof that overuse injuries are a real thing. So we do need to pepper in some non-rowing workouts with our rowing workouts in order to not overtire the muscles that are used in rowing. So we are going to do a 15-minute circuit of high intensity, low impact workout. Then we're going to do 5 minutes of core, and you'll be done in 20 minutes. So just stick with it. Even if you think I'm not coordinated enough, I hate doing things that are on the rower, you're gonna be fine and your body's gonna thank you for it. So let's get started and warm up.
All right, guys, we are ready to warm it up. So go ahead and start in those squats. Nice and easy, not worrying about going too low, just trying to get those big muscles warm, which gets the heart rate going because of the blood needed to get to those muscles. A couple more squats, and then from here I want you to take it into a lateral lunge. So just step out to one side and then keep those feet nice and wide and lunge it side to side, right and left. And slowly just bring those hands down toward the mat. Once they're there, you're going to just hold the stretch to one side, then the other. And then keeping the hands on the floor, heel toe those feet together just a bit. We're going to go into a double pulse squat and double pulse press. Then press 2 times to straight legs, squat it 2 times, press to straight legs. Nice hamstring stretch here, thinking of keeping that back long and straight. And then we're going to roll it all the way up and go into an alternating leg lift. Opposite hand reaching toward opposite foot. Remember, if you can't touch the foot, touch the shin or the knee. Remember, that leg does not need to be straight either. Sometimes those hamstrings are still pretty tight, so go ahead and bend the leg a little bit if you need to. And then let's bend it even more and kick that glute. So we're reaching opposite heel toward opposite glute to warm up those hamstrings. Great. From here, we're going to open up our hips a little bit more with a hip rotation. So to go ahead and bend that knee, open up, move through that hip joint. Nice. Great, you guys, we are nice and warm, ready for this workout. We are going to do 5 exercises, 45 seconds apiece, 15 seconds rest, and 3 different rounds. So there will be 15 minutes of 15 exercises total. First exercise is a plie twist with an alternating leg lift. Remember that in a plie, your toes are turned out and your tailbone is aiming down at the floor. So I want you to tuck the hip bone up toward the bottom rib. Have a seat and let's begin. Twisting as many times as you want to before lifting the leg. 3 or 5 times, as I'm doing here, are nice numbers. I'm doing 5. 3 works too. It needs to be an odd number for you to always end up on the opposite side. And you are facing the leg as it lifts. That's really going to help you get that twist. Don't worry if that top leg isn't straight. I want you instead to focus in on pressing into the bottom leg, lightening up the top leg. You got it. Rotation right through the waist. Almost there. Good. Rest. Take your 15 seconds off. Exercise number 2 is a low lunge into a warrior 3. So my knee touches the floor behind me, and then I take it into a warrior 3. I'm going to start here with my right leg, your left. Start with either one. We will do both. So pressing into that front leg, really thinking about trying to get that back leg up high enough that your body creates that capital letter T. Working through both glutes here, standing leg, and then also that lifting leg. Glutes are working to pull that straight leg up. Don't have to go fast, you can slow it down.
How do you feel right now?
Add arms if you want. You got it, almost there. And rest. It's pretty intense on that one leg. We're going to switch legs now. This is going to be my injured, tired leg, so you will notice that my Warrior 3 is not a capital letter T. It's more like half of an X. Here we go. Tap that knee to the floor if you can. Focus on pressing into the front leg, not pushing off the back toe. Coming into that capital letter T as best you can. Nice. Don't rush it. Squeeze and lift through those rear glutes. Stay with it. And rest. All right, 15 seconds off. Great. Go ahead and come down onto your mat. We're going to do a bridge with an alternating arm reach. So my fingers point toward my toes. I'm going to lift up into a bridge and reach the opposite hand up across my body toward the opposite shoulder. So if this kind of move makes you dizzy, don't look back over your shoulder. We are going right into it here, guys. So come on. 15 seconds is off, and you are back on your workout. So again, if you get dizzy, don't look over that shoulder. Look more to your feet or between your knees. And that'll help give you kind of a grounded point that doesn't feel like it's moving, doesn't make you dizzy. Press into the heels, lift that booty high, reach the arm long. Nice job. And rest. All right, so now we are coming into plank position. We're going to do a cross mountain climber, and then we're going to bring our feet in closer for a cross bear mountain climber. So bear is just a shortened plank. So we start in plank, cross mountain climber, then bear legs, mountain climber. Straight back out into a long plank, and then a smaller plank in that bear position. So notice how my knees are bent on that second round through. Mountain climber crossing, and then knees are closer to the body in that bear as you do the same crossing mountain climber. You got it. Trying not to let those hips rise and lower. You don't want them to go up and down. They're going to rock side to side. Obviously, you're twisting here, but as you move from a full plank into a bear plank, the booty doesn't get to go up. Great. Take a little breather. That was the end of round 1. Good job. So first exercise of round 2 is going to be a step out low squat. So this time I do want you to think about going nice and low. Here we go. So I want you to think about your booty dropping down to or slightly below your knee level. I usually don't have you do this, especially if you're carrying any extra weight, any hand weights, free weights, because it can put a strain on the front of the knee. But as long as your knees are healthy and we're not carrying extra weight, I want you to go ahead and try to sit nice and low. Oh, tripped on the mat. Remember, refuse to sink. It's all about keeping on. Don't let those obstacles get in your way. The mat jumps up, tries to trip you. You say no thank you and keep on moving. Come on. You can do this slow or fast. Good, breathe. All right, exercise number 2 is going to be an angle pull. So I'm going to make an angle from the top of my middle finger to the bottom of my foot, to my big toe. Straight line, like half of an X, and then I'm just going to pull that knee up as I bring the arms down. You can do this fast, you can do it slow. Squeezing through those obliques. Again, reaching, big, long line from the top of your middle finger down to the tip of your big toe. Pull, pull. Exhale as you pull. Inhale as you reach. You got it. So remember, one of the keys to low impact training is big moves. The bigger the move, the more muscles that are involved, the more blood that is required to get to those muscles carrying oxygen, the higher the heart rate gets. So if this move is too much, you can always keep those hands down at your chest level instead of reaching them up overhead. Let's switch to the other side. So So arms up overhead if you can. Again, straight line from middle finger down to big toe. If you want to have those hands just in front of your chest instead, that's going to take a little bit of that difficulty off. You got it. Pull, exhale, inhale. Think about bringing that knee as high as you can, as close as you can to that chest. Lots of oblique work. You got it. Squeeze, squeeze. Nice. Almost there. Squeeze the last few out. Ooh, good. Great job. All right, from here, we're going to take it into a skater with no hop. Even though this move is called a speed skater, your goal here is not speed, it is to get low. I want you to try to get that hand down to the floor, just beside your foot. That back foot can either touch the floor, so you're basically in a lunge, sort of, or it can lift up behind you, which is a little bit of an extra balance challenge if you're looking for that. If you're able to get the hand to the floor and you feel like you can speed it up a little bit, feel free. Adding just a tiny little hop there, keeping it very low impact. But the lowness is your goal. Getting down to the floor is your goal. Speed is not your goal on this one. Almost there. Squeeze those last few out. Great. Breathe. So from here, we're going to take it back down onto the mat. We're going to go into a full body roll up, and we're going to reach the hand toward the foot. I want you to actually reach opposite hand toward opposite foot, even though that's not what I did in that example. There, I do it. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started with this. Jump right in. I want you to think about not putting your head down on the floor. That's going to help prevent head rushes. If you cannot lift your butt up off the floor as you roll up out of this roll up, that's fine. I want you to reach toward the foot, though. If you can, I do want you to press into one hand and lift that booty up. But again, your booty might stay on the ground. Still want you to try to press into that hand just a little bit and reach the opposite hand toward the opposite foot. Almost like you're about to stand up. Roll about to stand up, and then you realize, oh wait, I can't stand up in that position. All right, you guys, great job. Go ahead, come back up to standing. From here, we are going to go into a squat and then an alternating lunge with a push to straight leg. So squat, lunge it back, push to straight leg, lunge, and come into the squat. Lunge it back, push to straight leg, lunge, and come back to squat. All right, you guys, we are starting round 3, the last round of exercises for this 15-minute push here. Straighten it out, lunge it again, squat. Good, really working on straightening that front leg by pushing through the front heel. Great. Great, take a little breather, 15 seconds off, it's not long. From here, what we're going to do is a 3-count curtsy, and then when I come out of that curtsy, I'm gonna lift the standing leg, the opposite leg that went behind, so the standing leg lifts. So I'm gonna do that first on your right, my left. When you come to standing, I'm gonna lift my left leg, your right leg. So curtsy, 2, 3, bring it up and lift, 2, 3. So we are working the glutes and the abductor muscles on that same side, on your right side, the whole time. Sometimes we do a curtsy and then switch into the leg lift on the other leg. Not this time. Great, guys. One of the reasons I love HIIT workouts is that you can do them in a short amount of time. They're really beneficial working through those intervals, and we can keep them nice and short. So even if you don't have time for an hour-long workout, you can just commit to 15, 20 minutes, power through, just keep your body moving, take those recoveries even though they're short, and then suddenly you're done. And all day your body will be reaping the benefits of an interval workout. Your metabolism will be kind of confused. It'll be stoked. Lift, lift, lift. Remember to try to lift with your heel, not your toe. Lifting with your heel helps to activate more muscles through that outer thigh and into the glutes, as opposed to lifting with your toe, which would focus in more on the front of the thigh into those hip flexors. It's not what we're looking to work here. Lift, lift, lift. You got it. Almost there. Great. All right, guys, from here, we are getting down onto the floor. We are going to do a triceps exercise on our knees. So I'm going to press down into my forearms and then press back to straight legs. What I want you to think about here is where your booty is. So the higher I keep my booty, the less pressure I have on my arms. If I want to make it harder, I'm going to rock forward into the palms and then press back and lift. So the job of the triceps is to straighten the arms. And that's what we're asking it to do. Notice how one arm is probably trying to jump in and push a little harder than the other. It's the alpha arm. That's why we do one-sided training oftentimes, is to let that weaker arm get a chance. When we do exercises like this where both arms have to work at the same time, that alpha arm is always going to try to take over, do a little more work than the weaker arm, and then the weaker arm stays weak. Stay with this, guys. Woo, good. Take it back to a child's pose. Get a nice little stretch there. Stay down on the mat. Next exercise we do is going to be a chest to floor push-up with a Wonder Woman, Superman, whatever you want to call it, lift at the bottom. So in a chest to floor push-up, you can always come onto your knees at the bottom to push yourself back up, but I want you to think about lowering yourself as one unit. All right, go ahead and let's begin. So come all the way down, lift into that Superwoman, Wonder Woman, Superman lift, and then back down. If you put your knees down, I still want you to think about moving as one unit, as one plank of wood, one big board. Lift and press yourself up. Great. Come on, you got it. This is your last of the 15 exercises. This is it. Great, guys. Take that child's pose again. We've got our core section coming up. All right, so go ahead and come around to a seated position. We're going to take it into a boat pose. So I want you to pull that belly button into the spine. I want you to lift your chest, grab on underneath your thighs, and straighten the legs. So if you can't straighten the legs, you can always keep them bent. I want you to keep holding on if you can. Otherwise, I want you to lift the arms and reach them toward the feet. That chest is lifted, belly button pulled in tight, really working to not round through the back. And then I want you to lower and lift. Come down for 2 and up for 2. You can always bend the knees. You can always leave your heels on the floor, or you can take it to those straight legs. Exhale as you lift up. Inhale as you come down. 2 counts down, 2 counts up. Nice. Thinking about pulling that belly button down to the spine. That's what lifts the chest back up. Great. Take a little rest here. Next exercise that we are going to do is going to be a lifting side plank. So you're going to come onto your right forearm, and we're going to lower the hip to the mat or close to the mat. Top arm can be lifted, or the hand can be behind your head, or the hand can be at your hips. Or if you need extra stability help, you can always bring that top hand down to the mat. Lower the hip and lift. Lower the hip and lift. You can stack your feet, or you can stagger them again for a little extra stability help. Really squeezing through that bottom side obliques to lift the hips. Nice. Keep it going. And then we're just gonna roll to the other side. Same thing. Stagger the feet or stack them. Make sure your body's in a straight line before you lift those hips up off the ground. Top arm can be up, and we lower and lift, lower and lift. Isolating those obliques as much as possible. Exhale, lift, inhale down. You got it, guys. Tap the floor if you can. If you can't get that low, that's okay. Squeeze for the height. That's your goal. Excellent job, guys. All right, take a breather. Next exercise we're going to do is a forearm plank. I want you to make sure that your arms are in the number 11, palms flat on the ground, so we're not clasping our hands together, forming a little triangle with our arms. So go ahead and lift those hips, lift those knees, legs straight, and hold. So remember, your body should be nice and flat. We're going to just add a knee tap. So tap both knees to the floor. Think about that upper body staying flat. Someone could sit on your back this whole time if they needed to. Back to a straight leg plank hold. And let's add that knee tap. Upper body nice and stable. Someone on your back is not going to slide off. Hold the plank. And come down. Rest. Excellent. We've got one more plank exercise here. One more exercise total, and then you're done. We're going to come right back up into that plank on our forearms and go into a hip dip. So alternating right and left. You can always just choose to hold this plank. The dip right and left. Remember that you should not feel this in your low back, so I want you to make sure that your abs are pulled in nice and tight. If you feel it in your low back, it just means your abs cannot handle this motion yet, cannot handle the weight of gravity kind of pulling down through that torso, so I want you just to hold that plank if that's the case. Almost there. You've got this. Stay with it, stay with it. And go ahead and come down. Let's take one last child's pose. Reach it back, arms reaching forward. Take a deep breath. And then go ahead and come up. Let's do a couple cat-cows here. That back nice and stretched out, and then tuck those toes, find your way to a down dog. Such a good stretch all the way down the backs of the legs, through those arms, back and chest as well. And then just walk your feet forward. Kind of soften the knees a bit so you can just hang like a rag doll. You're gonna roll all the way up. Head is the last thing to rise. Great. Let's take a little quad stretch here. So reach the opposite arm out for balance if you need it. And then grab that foot with the same hand, same side hand. And then release it, cross it over into a standing figure four. Find that balance, have a seat. Sitting the weight down into your heel. You can press your hands gently into the upper leg if you want to. Quad stretch on the other side. As you pull that foot, remember to tuck the hips under, squeeze the glutes to get that nice pull. Again, one arm out for balance can help. And then we're going to cross it over and go right into that standing figure four. Easier said than done. Woo! Fight for the balance. Sit it way back. Great. Bring those hands around in front, clasp together, round your back, rock side to side. And then reverse it. Bring the hands around behind you, clasp together, lift away. Unround the shoulders. You guys did an amazing job. Way to stick with it. We'll see you next time.